Yeah, so welcome back to another interesting episode of the program Sports Preview. Very big. This is where we give it time, talk about everything football. In fact, today we'll have enough time to look at the English Premier League. The Premiership is heating up like fire. It is very much heated. Teams are beginning to look like, okay, this is our season to win it, especially for teams like Arsenal, Manchester City. They look like say they go, intensify the search to dislodge Arsenal from the top of the table. So on this episode today, we're looking at the Premier League games where Manchester United under Michael Carrick, they've been running 100%. They will play host to Tottenham Hotspur. And if you check out, you can see big game coming through. Arsenal at the Emirates welcoming Sunderland. Sunderland, a very, very strong team. In fact, one of the strongest opponents that the big teams are facing in the season, in the league this season. They didn't look like team where they think about to go back to relegation, where the championship where they got promoted from. We'll see FC Bournemouth take on Aston Villa, while Burnley will be in that strong encounter with West Ham United. Fulham, who were beaten by Manchester United last weekend by the Whiskers, will be at the Craven Cottage to welcome Everton, and Wolves will be up against Chelsea in a game where there are plenty of names to look out for in that one. Newcastle and Brentford, it's another interesting fixture for Saturday. So Sunday will not be any different. In fact, games will proceed where the Amex Stadium, Brighton takes on Crystal Palace. Liverpool, who are looking a little organized after they got that 4-1 win over Newcastle. That was last weekend. We'll be hoping that when they face Manchester City, that they can be able to, get something out of that game to give Arsenal even more hope as they fit do this particular season. My name is Orji of Yadi Double. I won't be doing this alone. I have with me gentlemen who are well grounded. We will just help out here and there to give me in-depth analysis that you will love. So all you need to do is to sit tight, don't touch it, because we always encourage you to subscribe, turn on your notification button, make sure that you become a part of what we do here at Buan Community Voice. Don't forget that the program is proudly sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. It's always www.maxbet.ng. That is it. So seated by my immediate right is the man, Bonfrey Joe. Bonfrey, good to be here with you. I have also with me CI Zoro and the man of the moment, Podolski. We will be looking at the Premier League games for Saturday and Sunday. The Premier League is beginning to take shape. I feel like ever since we got into the second half of the season, it started looking like, look, there is a team that is gunning for this championship. It's now obvious that Liverpool, they let they go defend anything. They are not defending that title. And it's looking like City will need to prove a point in this second half of the season to dislodge Arsenal. But that's not like the main point of the day. We're looking at the top fixtures. United up against Tottenham Hotspur is the game for 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time on Saturday. In fact, it's point to reckon that weeks ago, United was nowhere. In fact, Ruben Amorim made it look like they do not have the players to execute the Premier League this season, or even a challenge for the top four. But with Michael Carrick, and persuade you say you don't find a way, like figure out how this United team can play as a unit, like play with the players that are available. One thing with style in football is sometimes you want to play a particular system as a manager. Sometimes you want your team to play a certain way. But I feel like the best approach is what Carrick is using. Play by your strength. If you have players who are very good with crossing the ball in, play most of the crosses. If you have players who can head in the ball when the crosses come, get the crosses into the box. So let's talk about United taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Bonfrey.
Yeah, United taking on Tottenham Hotspur. These two teams, they have this tradition of I win you, you win me. But in the last time United got a win against Tottenham was back in 2002. That was the last time they got a win. Their last 5 fixtures have been Tottenham Hotspur getting either a win or draw, going out with a win, put home and away. So I believe with Carrick being there, he wants to rewrite this history. At least give he has this 3 straight. He has gone 3 straight now. In his 3 matches as an interim manager of United, he has gone 3 straight wins. So I think with this, it's a boost for him. But Tottenham is not just a write-off. They want to dish out something. That's what I mean.
Okay, I think when we say they go won't give us something, but it's important to also point out that this match could be the straw that will bring the candles back for Thomas Frank. I feel like if he's well beaten, if he just sack him, like sure, yes, he do. Let's get your thoughts on that.
That draw he had against Manchester City kept him just what I would call on the loop. You understand? And then right now, just like you said, this is a situation of if you lose, then we're done. Irrespective of the fact that you probably might have won something, but then we are done. And he really does not need to lose. Talking about losing right here, I think Tottenham has had this enjoyment of an unbeaten longest run ever against Manchester United. They've won 5 and drew about 3 of them. And then, I think last season's UEFA Europa League that got Tottenham, one of their first major trophies in a very long time. I think that particular trophy, that particular match against Manchester United again, saved a lot. You get so.
Then what I'm looking point about say, maybe Thomas Frank win that war.
No. I understand.
Last time, maybe Thomas Frank.
We understand that. We understand that. So,
even the last
flying on that,
Amorim.
flying on that particular rail, I think he might come in with that confidence. But then, I want to advise him to be very, very particular about his defense, because that's where the United side will capitalize on, and it's not going to come out from the end of the day.
Okay, when you look at a team where they like, United, 6 of United last 7 home games, see both teams score. That tells you we saw them grind out that hard-fought 3-2 win over Fulham. In fact, a lot of people started saying this is the United we used to know. Late comebacks, late reset. This Sir Alex Ferguson mentality is back. What do you think about a fixture?
Yeah, I think the Alex Ferguson mentality is back. Man United are high spirits recently. Like even me now, I can boldly sit down with one bottle and be watching United game with full mind. Not the game that you'll be watching. Sometimes you put your hand in your chest and be thinking, hi, God will help us. But this time around, most of Man United fans are watching the match with excitement. Now look at their last 7 matches. If you look at their last 7 matches, Man United have won 4 and drew 3. We speak good of them. Michael Carrick, I like his methodology. He puts you when he needs you. Even from bench, he will take you from the bench and put you in and you deliver. And we're having a music, Bruno Doggy, go! Like, that is what we're expecting every week. Even what he did against Manchester City, what he did against Arsenal, what he did against Fulham. Because normally Manchester United game before is that we go back and go and defend. But this time around, even if we are drawing at the stoppage time, you will see that he's bringing out every player, and every player are playing to their ability. You even play a first line and you deliver. Okay, this is Menu. This is one of the players that we are looking at. Okay, he's not performing.
Yeah,
let's send him on loan.
Yes.
And at the end, see what he's doing there. So when you have a manager that understands your kind of play, your style of play, you're going to do it and you're going to give all your best. Yes, Tottenham, you see what they did against Man City. But don't take it away. This is Man City that United also defeated. I believe that in the high spirit that United are bringing recently, they will do well.
Okay, United in a very high spirit. I just hope you sustain.
Yes, it's going to sustain because this is one of the closest game in 68 years that Man United are going to celebrate the Munich disaster.
Yeah, money disaster.
So I believe that in this game, it should be a moral booster for Man United to kick on.
Yeah, kick on because the minute disaster, if you can remember, is not one that United want to remember anytime. And if that is the case, then the dressing room should be told about what happened in Munich and all of that drama, and they should be able to bounce back with that mentality and grind that result. But we all know it's football. It's like a biscuit. You can never tell where it will be cracked from. But that too will take us just away from that fixture. Let's look at another interesting fixture coming through this weekend, where Arsenal, the Gunners, sit at home to welcome the Black Cats. In fact, the Black Cats, tabletop Arsenal, the surprise package of the Black Cats is one of the most surprising parts of the Premier League this season. They have enjoyed an interesting roller coaster run this season. It's been a little bumpy, especially when somebody like Xhaka is missing in their team because of injury. But now you have to look at that fixture, and you want to understand that it's giving banana peel. It's giving you must be careful. It's giving you all have to win, especially from the Arsenal perspective. Let me start with you, Podolski. Let's look at this particular fixture. In your own opinion, which team stand like a huge chance looking at the stats available?
Even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'm going to support Arsenal this time around because I look at the statistics. Statistics talk a lot of them. In their last 13 meetings, Arsenal have been taking the lead. They have been winning 9 matches against them and drew 4. So I believe that Arsenal, in their recent form now look at what they did against Leeds in their last match. They won 4-0. So now they want to continue topping the league. Most times, if United is playing anyone that is closer to Arsenal, I noticed something recently. Arsenal teams now support Man U to win if it's Man City or any other one. Now let us support Arsenal that they are going to do well with what is going on. I believe that Xhaka, all of them, this is a match for Arsenal to show us are they ready to lift a cup. Because I was talking with my Arsenal fan, I gave him a cup of water. He was not able to hold it. I was asking him, so you're an Arsenal fan, no wonder you're not able to hold this cup of water. Please, I believe that this time around, Arsenal should be able to lift the Premier League.
Don't take it personal.
Arsenal
are in the final of the Carabao Cup.
That does not mean they are going to win it.
Okay, but let's also.
You said they are going to win it.
I want to ask a very important question before we actually continue. Do you think Granit Xhaka, who is very much unlikely to feature for Sunderland due to that ankle injury, and Bertrand Traore, who is ruled out of this fixture, do you think these two key figures in this Sunderland side could be the reason why Arsenal could just capitalize and get that one?
Yes. Xhaka is one of the players that when you have him in
midfield,
yes, his impact will be felt. Look at what he did when he was in Bayern Leverkusen. He was everywhere. He's somebody that you can defend. You can be confident that he's there for you. Look at what he did against Chelsea. As if he was the one controlling the midfield, both defense. So
and he's a leader.
He's a born leader. Some people are made leader, while some people are born leader. So I believe the impact is absent to be highly felt.
Will be highly felt. While we also know that Bukayo Saka is very well absent and doubtful because of that growing problem. Mikel Merino will take a very long spell on the sidelines. In fact, there are doubts if he can make it to the play to the World Cup, and these are the angles. But looking at Bukayo Saka's absence, Merino's absence, do you think Arsenal is a little shaky?
I don't think so.
You will never think so.
I don't think so because one thing you should understand about Arsenal. Arsenal has this season they came with a different style of play. In every play, in every position in the game, there is someone that is trying to replace anybody and do better. Take the cup match for instance. you don't need to laugh about that. You saw what happened.
What happened?
You saw what came there.
What happened? Please. What happened?
See, when you
played 90 minutes and scored just one goal.
Ebere Chieze was there. what is his name? Not Madueke was wonderfully doing well in that way.
And Saka is not missed at all
See, what in this season you hardly miss a player in Arsenal.
because there is a cover up.
It's not matter of being a cover up. Look at the four defense.
That's what I'm saying. Now
There's
there's a replacement.
every day he changes the players that play in that position, that back four. He changes them. He makes a substitution of who comes in.
So
And they also keep to the.
are you saying that he's gambling?
And one thing about Arsenal, by this time last season, the injury rate in Arsenal will determine if Arsenal gets something out of it.
So this season,
But this season, we can hardly count just three people injured in our dressing room. But by this time you get at least nothing less than 5.
So in your opinion, nothing should make the league.
Yes. And they shouldn't make that same mistake they made against Sunderland in the first leg. I hope they don't make that mistake because that mistake cost us a lot. It cost us a lot that ended that game 2-2. That was for decades. For 10 matches away from that, Arsenal has always been the winner.
Yeah, I'm going to support.
Except that draw that came in at that time.
Okay.
I'm going to support you with that because even if you check how things are being, Arsenal are unbeaten at home in their last 43 games against newly promoted teams. So with that, Arsenal don't take any newly promoted team for play. They have won 38 and drew 5 against newly promoted side. So I believe that with this, they will try to continue their winning method.
Okay, very well. Winning method for the table-topping Arsenal. Absolutely incredible, and we know what they've been doing. But it's good to still point that down.
But these particular Black Cats won their last match 3-0. These people have only lost, I think, about 2.
Arsenal also won their last
of
match
their last 9
against
games.
Leeds United, and also did something to Chelsea too.
No, cheer. They've lost 2 of their last 9 games, just 2. These people are not looking like people you just want to win.
They not just 2. Arsenal just lost only 1 of their last 9.
Point exactly.
Only
Arsenal
one
get of their match relaxed, they will beat you.
That is
But
why
they will never get relaxed. They know that the league is up.
But then, yeah, we know that the last time the Cats actually won Arsenal, I think that was 1982, thereabouts. So if we were to judge by history, Arsenal probably has the upper advantage. But then, at this point,
also know that it's Emirates, not
I am
Yeah,
not supporting. I'm telling you, the Black Cats, home and away.
Wait, see, they are
only of the night, home and away.
Arsenal was built with armor during the First World War.
Okay.
So that's it. That black cat
Shot there. Well, Black Cats is going to die at the Emirates as we are saying. But let's also still point out a very important fact that Arsenal looked like they were going to concede something less than 15 goals that Chelsea did concede under Jose Mourinho. That was in the 2004-2005 Premier League season. Chelsea conceded just 15 in the entire Premier League season. But now we know they've conceded around 17 already, and the league is still far from ending.
And they will still consider.
Yeah, so when you look at all of that, you understand that that record held by Chelsea is looking a little too difficult for anything to break. That brings me to Chelsea, who goes to play Wolves at the Millennium. The championship is looking like, in fact, the championship wants to hug Wolves because it would just take nothing but a miracle for Wolves to survive. They fight only to avoid becoming the Premier League worst ever side as they welcome a Chelsea side who are hungry for a top 4 finish under Liam Rosenauer. In fact, this Chelsea team is looking like we are making these mistakes, we're learning from these mistakes, and we are doing it spot on. And it's looking incredible. We all know what's going to happen when you're going to face a team that have got nothing to lose in the course of the season, because it's looking like it's all over for Wolves. And all the players are thinking about is, let it not be like the worst team in the Premier League history. Let's go all out, throw everything in the sink, and try to grind out a result. Looking at that, let's look at it. CI, the Wolves' sense of optimism following their 5 game unbeaten run, leading to a growing trend. Do you think is something that Chelsea should be wary about?
Okay, so I basically feel Chelsea has this particular obligation to make sure that they cling to this if actually they want to take that particular spot at the top floor. But on the other hand, Wolves is very hungry, and when I mean very hungry, Wolves want to devour anybody who comes their way at this particular point, and it's not going to be something Chelsea would want to come in with a walkover kind of mindset. First of all, I would suggest that the new Chelsea coach doesn't start his match with a Liam Delap, because it has always turned out not to be very fantastic. He's one of the I've always said it from the first time he came on board. The boy, probably because of the kind of coaches Chelsea has had or the kind of playing style Chelsea has had, but then it has not really favored him since inception in Chelsea, and I don't even see a future with him, a future in Chelsea with him involved. Other than that, he could be able to start with any other person, but then a Kupama and an Estavo startup wouldn't equally be bad for that particular match. This is me saying that the Chelsea match should be treated the same way any Champions League match. The Chelsea match against Wolves should be treated exactly the same way any Champions League match would have been treated if Chelsea was to go for a Champions League match.
Okay, looking at it now, Podolski, Wolves, they've lost the last 3 league head-to-heads by 12-3 aggregate scoreline. 6 of those goals were conceded in a 6-2 reversal in this fixture. Now, last time, while Chelsea also scored 4 in a 4-3 cup victory at the Millennium earlier this season, are they looking like a side that can give it the fight?
But this time around, I will just say that I'm not supporting Wolves because there was a mistake they made selling a striker that gave you 14 goals to Crystal Palace at the deadline day and buying Armstrong, a cheaper one from Southampton. What do you want to compete for? And in their last 5 games, you see that they just won only 2. So I believe that Wolves, they are not fighting anything. They should just engage this time around and prepare themselves for the future.
Okay, relegation and prepare for a fight in the championship.
Yes.
Find a way back. We all know what is happening. Only 2 sides have kept more league clean sheets than Chelsea. Chelsea have 9 this season. In fact, when Chelsea considered that's only goal that they did concede in there, I think that should be in the last game. You could see a very furious goalkeeper about conceding that goal. Do you think Chelsea, as one of the teams that have considered less this season, is a team that must make it to the top 4 in your opinion?
Just telling you the gospel truth,
The gospel
truth. You see that Chelsea, Manchester United, they are doing wonderfully well fighting for that top 4. It's going to be a fight that will last to the last day of the league if these 2 teams continue like this. If they both first Chelsea and Man U continue the way they are doing, one of them will have to say, okay, take it, maybe.
Don't you say one of them will win the league? Can't you just say one of them will win the league?
Winning the league is like telling them to take a skyscraper and jump down out of it. You understand? But what I see is that the top 4 finish, and considering what Chelsea is doing under this their new coach, under this new manager, I think they're doing wonderfully well.
Okay, wonderfully well, Chelsea alongside Manchester United. So that could end them a top 4 finish in the Premier League. We can see now, and we will look at that day. So we look at the last fixture for this episode, and I feel like it's the fixture for the weekend where Liverpool Reds takes on the Citizens. In fact, Citizens Blues are a team. I feel like it's the most way for Pep Guardiola to decide. A fixture usually loaded with Premier League title implications. It's looking differently this time, as Liverpool's chances of defending the title. I spoke about it earlier. It's looking very bleak. We all know Man City now are looking like a sheriff that they've always been. they want to go for the title. And I feel like if that's the plan, get a result at the toxic Anfield. Get a result. Everybody, all hands should be on deck to try to grind out a result. Anything less than a win of all 3 points will give Arsenal a huge chance to start to make statements in this February to say, look, I feel like it's our season. So let's look at the CI. Do you think Liverpool that they've picked up? Because we saw that 6-0 game against Karabakh. We also saw a 4-1 win for the slot season against Newcastle. Newcastle no small though. Newcastle no small at all. To sign off that January fixture. So looking at all of this, they've been winless. A winless run of 4 draws and 1 loss in their last 5 games before that game against Newcastle. Do you see and the slot side now bouncing back and getting an all-important win for them in that battle against City?
Okay, so I think the victory they had against Newcastle is a boost. You understand, and just like you said, Newcastle no small, and at least you could be able to do that against a Newcastle that is, what would I say, a very big competitor on the league right now. I think they could be able to do it against City. City, I think, has had some clubs study their pattern over time, and once you could be able to get that particular pattern, I think you're one way ahead of City. Now, what Pep has to do, if I were Pep, is to come into that match with another different pattern, entirely, and not just the ball gets to this person before it gets to the goalpost. I feel they should use that pattern being actually used when they do not have that particular striker, where everybody could be able to score from any place at any particular point in time. This is what I feel could work for City against this Liverpool that we have right now. Because Liverpool, to me, is gearing, and then they are no longer looking for the league. But then they want to prove a point that they can still be part of that competitors for Europe the next season. And that is what it is.
Very well. Going to Europe is important. We know how much money spending it can bring. So, Humphrey, let's look at it. Maguire almost moved to Liverpool, will now move to Manchester City. He's now a City player and he's going to play against Liverpool, the supposed suitors. We all knew that Liverpool were trying to play safe, to say, let's go by the summer when his contract must have expired or close to it and have a reduced fund for him. But City, being who they are, the Arabian money had to go when the Qatari money had to go when they went, and we all saw the outcome now. Do you think it's a game where Maguire will need to play out his heart, like play his best game, because he should be proving that he made the right decision for his career?
I think so, because every player now wants to show maybe his former club, with potential club, that this is me.
Yeah, this time what you're missing.
This is what you're missing in me.
What Havertz is doing to Chelsea?
Not even Harvard. You see what Kepa did. He said almost virtually everything that came his way. They celebrated more against Chelsea than any other team Arsenal has played, that they featured him. But one thing about this Liverpool Manchester City game is that these two teams, in their last match, they played against the same opponent. The City played against Newcastle in the cup match. It ended in 3-1. The Liverpool played against Newcastle in the league. It ended 4-1. That is to tell you the dynamics of this team. And one thing about City, presently their highest goal scorer, who is Haaland, has played 4 matches without a goal. 4 matches without a goal. While on the other side, Ekitike is firing from all cylinders. He doesn't miss any chance in that front for Ekitike. So, and one thing about City defense is a problem. Pep knows that his defense is a problem. He has the strike force to finish the job, but when it comes to his defense, he has issues with that. And that will be as a a pain for them when the likes of Ekitike comes to that 18. Because one thing with Ekitike, he runs, and Salah has picked up from where he stopped last year. Since he came back from the Nations Cup, he has been doing magic. He has been assisting, scoring and assisting. In the Champions League game, he assisted and he scored. So I think this match has a dynamics of its own. And City, we want to take it serious. On the other hand, Liverpool want to take it more serious because they want to compete in Europe. And the only way to compete in Europe is to win.
Winning will take you to that European competition, obviously. So, Podolski, let's get what your thinking is as Liverpool takes on City.
It's going to be a cracker. All I say is going to be a cracker. These two teams, they have known themselves. They have played well. I think the last time City won 2-0, that was on November. And the last time City tried to win Liverpool in a double was 1936-1937 season. So coming to Anfield to do it again is going to be a great miracle. And if you check most of their, I think their 38 visits to Anfield, they have drawn 12 and they have lost 24. So them coming right now to win again at the Anfield is going to be a great miracle. Like I stated earlier, they know when last they did it. Now, the citizen, see the kind of game they are playing now. I will say that they are in top form. Even the midfield, Rodri that we are clamoring, Rodri is bad, but things that is happening is still happening.
After an ACL injury, it's never easy to hit top gear. We saw it happen with Virgil van Dijk and a whole lot of other players. It's nearly impossible to come off from an ACL and hit top gear and be the player that you were. So I feel like I was never expecting him
to be in a top game. Even he came back with a red card. Look at what they play. Most of them were complaining that this one is not performing well, but it's up to them. See the game against Tottenham. Nobody expected, even with your top goalkeeper, they're going to score him that kind of goal. Most of us were surprised. So meeting Liverpool this time around, I believe that the both teams are also struggling. And Citizen, their title hope is still alive. If they can prove a point at Anfield this time around.
Yeah, title hopes is very much at stake for Pep Guardiola. And a lot of persons calling the team come on. I think he should be able to take things out from there. But just before we round it up on this episode, I want to know, Ekitike has scored 7 goals per round in the Premier League. I feel like for a team that got Isak, he was brought in more like a French player, but he found a way to boss himself into that Liverpool 11 as a rookie midweek. And notwithstanding all of the £120 million that was spent on Alexander Isak, they know how much of importance that Ekitike will bring to this one. 6 of his last 7 strikes in any competition have come at the Anfield. Are you seeing him scoring a goal up against?
Yes, exactly. He's very, just like Godfrey said, he's a very strategic player. He knows when and how to play around it. And then I see him converting goals at this particular one at Anfield.
Okay, Anfield is his goal scoring galore arena. Let's see if he can get it. But just let's go to the Maxbert prediction segment. We know how it is. What we do here is to predict. So today, I'll just leave it at Liverpool and City. So I'll just see what you all think. So, Podolski, let's go with you.
I'm giving it to Liverpool.
Liverpool struggling?
Yes, I'm giving it to Liverpool at this point.
Liverpool also. I think you're looking happy, a happy man.
Yeah.
And Liverpool
Not even happy because there is this. They have both teams has history. Liverpool cannot get a win, as in City cannot get a win in Anfield. The least they can get is a draw.
Okay, the least City can get at least a draw in the words of Godfrey. That's how much we can take on this episode. I will also tell you that the program is probably sponsored by our friends at Maxbet. Still www.maxbet.ng. Go visit the website, go check things out for yourself, and also you can see those amazing stuff up for grabs there for you. Thank you very much, Godfrey. Thank you, CI. And of course, very big thank you to you, Podolski, for your wonderful analysis. For all of us here, we're saying adios.